Welcome back to the BBBC DDTJ, official name pending, Fantasy Basketball Podcast. I'm Byron.
And I'm Ben. So the draft is wrapped. The budgets are empty, for most of us anyway. And today we're breaking down how every roster shaped up, what worked, what didn't, and who's set up for an early season lead.
All right, so we're going to be talking the post draft. So, Ben, first impressions. How'd you feel the draft went?
Um, that's a great question. I think the spending was crazy and all
Yeah.
over the place. None of us had, you know, experience with this draft type, and I think that was very clear. So several teams they went crazy and burned through their money right away, which honestly, in some cases, I think worked out. Well, time will tell. And then there were some examples like Wemby going for $70, which was one of the
Mm-hmm.
most in the draft. Um, and just a lot of the top tier guys went for way over ESPN projected
Oh, yeah.
values, which is, I don't know, probably a sign of our novice experience at this, but who knows?
I mean, yeah, there are definitely experiences or examples that you can pull from way big spenders, but let's talk about you for a minute. There weren't just big spenders. You managed to go the whole draft without spending over $46 on a player, which is the only manager who is able to do that. So hopefully that's indicative of a strong all-around roster for
Yeah.
you. On the flip side of that, we saw super aggressive spending. I mean, I was one of them. I don't think I was the only one, but I was certainly one of them.
hmm
How do you feel? Just kind of looking at the numbers, how far above projected value did some of the top names go?
Yeah. So Wemby, which I mentioned earlier, went for 70 when he was only projected to go to for 54.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fortunately, only Jokic and Shea went past $70. If there were other people that went past that, I'd be really concerned
Mm-hmm.
about about our knowledge and strategy. Um, but the question then is like, is Wemby really in the top three value in the league? Like, will he put up the numbers to be in the top three?
Yeah, I think in retrospect, I think that some of it was just kind of the horses waiting for the gates to open for the race. Like once one manager saw us big spender, like, oh crap, like I don't want to be the only one who doesn't get a top 10. And so
Mhm.
then I don't know, it just kind of felt like a domino effect. But let's
For
talk
sure.
about value picks, right? There were big spenders, but then there were some crazy people who were able to get for like $1, $2, $3. So I think people running out of money early left strong player pickups for cheap. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, definitely toward the end, uh, the late round picks were incredibly cheap. I mean, we're talking like $1 for certain star players. I think the first person that comes to mind is like James really saved his money.
Hmm.
He made like a big purchase and then saved his money for a really long time. So at the end, we're just like none of us can compete because everyone's just down to $1 per. And so,
Yeah, he had a lot of money
yeah,
to spend toward the end, and
yeah,
ended up not spending all of it. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Um,
yeah.
and if I could, we'll talk about some specifics. Julius Randle went for $1. ESPN
It's so
estimates that
funny.
he gets 30 points a game. Right? Would you rather have Wemby or 70 Julius Randles? I mean, it's
Oh,
not perfect math, but
yeah, that is. I don't know.
hmm
He said Julius Randle's had some rough games, but yeah, that's absurd. One
worth more
dollar
than
is
a
pretty
dollar.
wild. Yeah. And then Laurie Markkinen went for $1 as well, and they estimate 28 points per game. If the Jazz play him like they were a couple seasons ago, he could honestly go for way more than that. So $1 is a pretty
Yeah.
big steal.
Similar, Darius Garland, $1. ESPN estimates 29 points a game, right? So
Yeah.
just because you got a guy for $1 doesn't mean he's a dollar player. He's lucky for me too, because I ran out of I think I was at like 20 bucks and I still had to get five people, so I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. I didn't participate much during the middle, but toward the end, I was glad to see I was still getting some good guys.
Yeah. No, and I think all around there were like some really maybe not, top 20 players, but like really solid, consistent players that went for like between the $3 to $5 range. Like, OG Anunoby went for $3, which I think he's like one of the most consistent role player guys. There was another one that stood out to me, like McCall Bridges, $2. Jared Allen for $9. Like these are people who may not put up insane numbers, but they're so consistent that it's like I'm shocked they
A
went for that. I
steal
mean, I'm not because
for
we
three
wasted
bucks.
money, but
Yeah,
Jaron Jackson Jr. for $1, the king of blocks, and blocks are worth 4 points. What are we doing?
I know.
So
I know, but
yeah,
look, we're moving on to one of the most exciting segments of this podcast's history. So we got all the data. We handed it over to our friend Jordan, who has a master's of data science, works professionally in the data science field,
yeah.
and also worked with a little bit of ChatGPT on these calculations. But we inputted all of the teams as of draft night. So I know there has been
Hmm.
a little bit of movement going on since then, but we put in all the teams, consulted Jordan, and what we've got is a ranking list from worst to best, eighth to first, purely based off of ESPN's projections and where we were able to land. Okay, so Ben, can you walk us through? Just we'll do an overview, what team it is, what place they got, and their projected points, and then just kind of walk us through eighth to first, and then we'll start with eighth, and we'll talk about all the teams.
For sure. Really quick, this is a really dumb side tangent, but as you're talking about Jordan, I'm just imagining like one of those movies, old school movies, where he's like typing really fast on the computer
Hmm.
and like numbers are like flying around the screen. I imagine that's the amount of effort he was putting into
Yeah,
helping us out. So,
like a mix of
anyway,
Moneyball and Rain Man.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Perfect. So the crazy thing is, yeah, all 8 teams fall between a projected 330 points a week to 385 per week. So that's like a 15% difference week to week, which I think is, I mean, I don't know for sure statistically. That seems like the closest uh, projections
Super
of
close.
any season we've had.
Yeah.
Um, so in order, the projected are Brandon's team at eighth with 330. Seventh is Tim with 340. Sixth is me. Obviously, I don't know what this is talking about.
Hmm.
Me with 350. Fifth, Dakota Jacobs, 355. Fourth, Dakota Worth, 370. Third, you, Byron, 375. Second, James, 380. First, Cade with 385.
All right. Now, if anybody's getting their feelings hurt, just realize this is just a projection. Eight, and it's super close. Eighth could be first, first could be eighth, but it's just giving us a little bit of a snapshot. So let's talk about eighth. Brandon, 330 points a week projected. This team invested heavily in Anthony Edwards. He was number 7 pick. He got $66. He also landed De'Aaron Fox, number 27 on ESPN's list,
Mhm.
and Pascal Siakam at 13. So several picks carry risk, right? He got Kawhi Leonard drafted with three
Mhm.
bucks. Get Kawhi Leonard for $3. It's a good value, but is he going to play much? I don't know. Miles Bridges, $2. So he has some high variance players. It's variance due to injury and legal issues. And ESPN projects Laurie. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Laurie Markkinen, dollar pick. The ESPN's projecting him way lower than his 2024 breakout season. There's talent
Yeah,
there, but there's also tons of uncertainty and potential missed games. This is a team that could either be first or it could be last any given week.
for sure. Um, just looking at his team, Pascal, I think, is the biggest steal there.
Hmm.
And with Halliburton being out and Pascal already balling out last year, I think that's a really good pickup. The thing that stands out to me about Brandon's team is there are a lot of really solid two-way players other than maybe Darren Fox, Brunson. Brunson's even a pretty good defender. And Gobert, who knows if he's good offensively, but the rest are all fantastic two-way players, which I think in our format will work out because if you're getting assists and blocks and rebounds, like those are where you're going to see the stats go up. So,
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk more about it when we talk about my team, but this league rewards strong centers. So a
yeah.
little bit of
Uh,
foreshadowing, but this is about Brandon's team, not mine. That's a good point. So, all
yeah.
right, let's talk about the seventh place team, Tim, trailing just ahead with 340 projected points a week.
Yeah. All right, Tim. Let's talk about this. You front loaded front court right out the bat. Not a lot of guards. So you have Wemby. You spent $70 on him. Way to go. Big spender. You got Şengün. So Şengün is actually a great pick, and I think $30 might be worth it. So those two will fill your stat sheet for sure. And then Paolo Banchero is another bargain. The You drafted Cooper Flag at 20, which is probably the biggest question mark on your team and maybe overall.
The whole
He got
league.
ranked pretty high, but by ESPN. But that's you never know when they jump into the big leagues if they play the same. Hashtag Jimmer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, it's true. And speaking of Cooper Flag and this whole analysis, I think ChatGPT and Jordan, to the extent that he helped, which to be fair is mostly ChatGPT working for us. I think they kind of undercut Flag's potential. So I mean,
mhm.
if Flag fires on all cylinders, which he absolutely could, right? AD is injury prone, not a super talented team in Dallas. I think he could really live up to ESPN's potential. So I mean, this team could. I mean, if you gave Cooper Flag all credit that's credit's due, I mean, Tim could have been like second or third in this
Mhm.
analysis. I think it's just the fact that they're being a little conservative on Cooper. But I mean, besides that, because I mean, the big problem right here is on Tim's team is he loaded up the front court at the expense of guards. But if Flag is a good guard, then this team really has it all.
That's true.
Any
Yeah.
last any
And
last thoughts on Tim?
no, I mean, if we're going down the two-way player thing, Cooper Flag should fit into that, assuming he plays the same as he did in college.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, I don't want you talking about your team, so I better talk about your team. We got sixth place Ben,
all right.
projected 350 points a week, 10 above Tim. All right, look, well-rounded squad. You don't have a top 10 superstar, but you got a super deep mid-talent team. And by
Mm.
mid-talent, I mean still great players, but I mean it's an interesting strategy. Save money from the top to invest in a deep team. So you got Josh Giddey, ESPN's number
Yeah.
16, Jalen Brown, maybe a little personal overinvestment here, but
I
ESPN
can't help it.
17, not bad. Zion, Ozempic Zion at 28th. We'll see. That could be
Dude, I have
28. That could
faith.
be 58. He's looking good, and I don't know. Well, your next guy, Donovan Mitchell, number 26, also very strong. So I mean, you don't have any misses here. You don't have any um, foul balls here. They're all very good. Strong core. All of them are projected for 40 points per game players. This team will rarely have a weak spot in the lineup. Lacks a singular huge scorer that some of the other teams might have, but could make up for it in wins against tough lineups where consistency matters.
Yeah. And draft night after, like immediately after, I was like, oh man, I missed out on some big names. But I honestly feel pretty good about it. I was actually looking at it, and based on like the estimated, I don't know how it works, like overall points for the season or whatever, I think I only have two players who are under the 2,000 mark,
Hmm.
and one of them is like 50 under that mark, and most teams have like four under the 2,000 mark. That said, I don't have any like players that are hitting the 3,000. So well
I
rounded. We'll see how it works
I
out.
think I think it's a strategy that could pay off.
We'll see. Cool. So then fifth, we got Dakota Jacobs. So super top heavy roster. He has four players that are in the ESPN's top 20. So he has Cade Cunningham, who was 8, Pat, who was 12, Devin Booker, 15, Jalen Williams, 18. But as you go down the roster, it's younger, less proven. So we got like Sar Thompson, Dyson Daniels, and so that could pull the total down. So pretty good all around, less depth, but with that many top 20 players, like I could see them outweighing maybe some of the less experienced players. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I've heard Dyson Daniels sucks. Boom. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, well, look, he's got four top 20 players, but they're all, and maybe I'm just getting old, but they're all names that I see, and I'm like, they're really top 20. Kate
Yeah.
Cunningham, is he really as good as ESPN's projected number 8? Probably. I mean, he's a top 20 player, but then you got Cat, yeah, probably top 20. Devin Booker, maybe. Jalen Williams, maybe. I just don't see those four names. I'm like, okay, those are four of the best players in the league. And
Yep.
hey, maybe I'm
Uh-huh.
just getting old and the young kids are coming up and it's going to work out really nice. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think that's the big
Yeah.
question mark is how well do those four perform? So
I'm with you.
let's go to the other
Yeah.
Dakota, Dakota Worth, what ChatGPT and the data experts say is the better Dakota at 370
Ooh.
points a week. And look, we've been jumping 5, 10 points from place to place. This is the first big jump, 355 to 370. All right, look, this team, Dakota Worth's team, is built around four veterans still in their primes: Luka Doncic, Trae Young, James Harden, and LeBron James. That's not bad four. And then, again, maybe I'm getting old, but those are the four that you see, and you're like, yeah, those are the top 20 people. This team's
Mm-hmm.
balanced in attack, in points and assists, bolstered by some pretty good $1 steals. We're going to talk about some best value picks later. And so I think that little mix of some good cheap buys as well as the four, superstars could be a good
Yeah.
spot. Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, all I gotta say is Dakota. We'll see if these players were worth the amount of money you spent on them.
Nice.
You get it?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty good.
I
I've been
get it.
saving that the whole time you were talking. I was actually thinking of that. So,
Yeah, you couldn't let me just
um,
have the Dyson joke. Had to poke some fun
nah,
in there.
sorry, I am sorry, but no, I think like those players, Luca, Trey, James Harden, LeBron, like those are the players I think of in top 20. So that makes a lot more sense to me than the ones listed before.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see LeBron James. I've heard that they had to reteach some of the medical staff how to deal with sciatica. They're just not used
Oh,
to dealing with old people diseases like
yeah,
sciatica. They're
that's
like,
pretty
what the
wild.
heck? What is this? A freaking geriatric physical therapy hospital? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully he
well,
stays
I don't
healthy.
know.
Hopefully he stays good. All right, lead
Yeah.
us into the next one. The best, some people say.
Well, the best at being third in this list is your team. And you mentioned this earlier. You have it for the big men. You love the big men, as
I
they
like big
say.
boys. I'm a big
So you
boy.
have
Yeah.
a very heavy big man roster. So you maximize some of like the big categories, rebounds, blocks, all that stuff. So you got Giannis, which is honestly, that's awesome. Anthony Davis, if he doesn't get injured, easy meeting the expectations of number 6 as ESPN put him. Then you got Sabonis, Bam. So you have the only team that has 3 top 10 players.
Mhm.
Way to go. So yeah,
Mhm.
Sabonis, Anthony Davis, Giannis, all in top 10.
Mhm.
And then yeah, you got strong 3, but then counterbalanced a bit by a shallow roster. So um, there are some people that may come back later, like Ja, and you have some few true point guard shooting guards who like long term may pay off. But yeah, you definitely front loaded with some bigs right out the gate. But honestly, it could pay off. So
And it's true. I mean, look, in retrospect, I mean, this is just a skill issue. This is just a knowledge issue. What did I buy Jaw for? It was like $12. It was probably
I don't
the
know.
worst decision of draft night. So I mean, I'll eat my humble pie where
Maybe the
it's
worst
due.
decision of world history.
It could be. It's up there with, um, you know, we won't get into that. But you know what? As soon as I won Jaw, do you remember what I said? It was like the
I
instant
don't.
that one. I was just like, oh my gosh, that is the dumbest. So I knew it in the moment. I didn't realize how bad it was though. 25 game suspension.
I mean, in our league, like at the end of the day, for better for worse, a lot of it is going to come down to the like later on.
Yeah, no, that's true. I
Um,
mean, what is 25 games? Like 2 months, something like that. So
yeah, I mean it's like what a third of the season almost.
yeah, so I mean,
Um,
and it's not like I can put him in my injury reserve. They just have him listed day to day. I don't think they have him listed out, so I can't move him.
mm,
But so yeah, it's like you get excited about the top 10. It's not just three top 10 players. It's three top 10 centers. I mean, it's probably center
yeah,
number
that's a big deal.
1, center number 4, and center number 6. Like they're so I'm really hoping that how good the centers are and how much the league rewards centers for blocks and steals and rebounds, and just pure points made instead of missed. I mean, it's not like they're going to be missing a lot of layups. Like I'm hoping that makes up for the fact that I've got Ja and I've got Harrow who are going to be out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Huh. honestly, you got some big names, so it could work out. Honestly, and Jaw has the potential, so I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you.
Thanks, thanks. All right, let's talk about the others on the podium. We've got James, who was the frugal Franny of the group.
Uh
All right,
huh.
he spent big on Shy. You know, he spends number two, and he spent a good amount of cash on Curry. So this team boasts two top 25 stars, and he. But the big thing, the big question mark here, and the big question in my mind is how. I mean, this is how good he is. How good could he have been if he spent a little bit more on the mid? Because he left 12 bucks unspent out of 200. So he secured great mid-range values. You know, he got Evan Mobley for 13 bucks, Franz Wagner for 12. But you know, what could he have done with that other 12 bucks?
Yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know how much the 12 bucks would have done. I mean, I think he could have maybe picked up
He
like
could have got Ja. That's what I spent
true,
on Ja.
true. Dude, he really dropped the ball on that. He could have gotten Michael Porter Jr. I got the steal that one.
No, that's a
Um,
good point.
but
You
yeah,
know,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I mean, he ended up walking away with some really good players. But I do think, the only downside was once you get to that point, everyone only has a dollar anyway. So it's like you really don't need the excess cash to be outbidding people because you're going to get them regardless.
hmm
Um, but I think Shea and Steph are great picks because they'll get you a ton of points and have really low turnovers. So
yeah,
I think those are good. And Franz Wagner, I think, is super underrated and a great pick. So.
it's solid all around. All right, roll out the red carpet, Ben.
I hate to do
I
this.
hate it. I
It is
hate that you
Cade.
have to do it.
Honestly, I think we walked out of this all knowing that it was Cade.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't understand how he got away with this. It baffles me.
You can't
So
get away with it.
for real, dude, I don't get it. All right, so he has Jokic, Durant, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey. So like crazy core. He got Joel Embiid for $6. If Joel Embiid plays half, no, let me take it back. If Joel Embiid plays a third of the season, he's worth more than $6. That dude is so good, and I think we forget because he never plays. I hope. I don't want to say I hope that's the case, but low key. Um, and then Jokic is the number one, projected points league player.
He's number one.
Um, he is, and so somehow Cade spent a ton of money on Jokic right out the gate, and still ended up with Durant, Maxey, and Embiid. So it's pretty impressive.
I mean, I think he got in at the perfect time where everybody hustled to spend tons of money on the big guys, and then there was a moment for like 10 minutes there where nobody wanted to spend much because they're like, okay, crap, I've spent half my money on two people or 60% of my money on two people. And then this is where Cade came in. It was like, yeah, I bought Jokic, but like, you know, I'm not afraid of spending another 20 or 30 bucks on some people when everyone else was. And I think that's how he got away with some things. Embiid
Yeah.
at $6. I mean, would you rather have two Embiids or one John Morant? Probably two Embiids.
Yeah. Two Embiids for
So
sure.
that just speaks to the value there. I mean, I don't have much to say
Yeah.
about this. We all knew going out of it, Cade's team was by far looking the best. And this is just where I'm hoping, you know, preseason projections, they're always wrong. I'm just hoping they're really wrong for Cade
I
because this
know.
is looking good.
I know. I don't know why. I just I can't accept the Cade's team winning. It's too stacked. It's almost too good and unbelievable that he would have so many good players. So I feel like there has to be something that drags it down. That's my hope.
Yeah. I think that's probably right. Now let's just end this up by, you know, recapping a little bit about what we think about the teams now. I know there has been a little movement already. I don't necessarily have that written down. I know that I've made a couple of
Yeah.
trades early, but just kind of last thoughts before we get into the outro here. I'll kind of start out like I know I moved Hero to the injury reserve. I had another one. I picked up a couple other people. Now, there's still a lot of good people up for grabs. Some rookies. You know, if there's a couple of rookies like Ace or whatever that starts looking really good, you could pick them up for what I think is pretty good value. What do you think?
hmm No, I do think there are still several good players out there, and I've seen, yeah, like people have started shuffling their teams around since uh we ended. Like there definitely have been some people to drop some players, pick up some new ones. And I feel like there were there were some like panic trades last minute. So we'll see if those play out. So
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, I think that's
uh,
most of my thoughts here.
yeah, no, that's mine too. I think it was a blast. I honestly think I prefer to do this in the future, especially now that we have the experience. So
Cool. All right. Well, let's wrap
yeah,
this up.
let's do it. Play the tune.
Oh, it's playing, baby. I
All
think
right.
that wraps
So
up. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that is a wrap on BBBCDDTJ Fantasy Basketball Podcast, round 2, and I think it went okay.
Yeah. No. As long as Tim's not too bad for the AI ranking his team 7th, I think there's a lot to be proven. It's a fun place to be early on in the season. So
True.
next episode, we'll preview week 1 matchups. They start tonight as of recording. It's going to be dropping tonight. So games start tonight. We're going to look at how the games go, some early waivers, some watch targets, and see how the dust settles from draft night.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well,
We'll see you then.
we'll see you next time.